Greetings, my friends. This is Gilles Mancillon. I come spontaneously to speak about spiritual matters. Sometimes all those ideas I bring here may be a little bit repetitive because it's important in order for it to be absorbed. This connection to the inner self, the source, the light, everything needs to be absorbed, needs to be integrated, and needs to be applied in some ways in order to become the new normal. There is this rebirth that is going on, and for some time I have people leave me messages. They say I have infinite knowledge. I don't have infinite knowledge, of course. Nobody is, except for God. There is places that only God will always be, and only God is there to hold in between all space, within all being. But we just to have to know of infinity is already a knowledge by itself. To know that there is infinity. There was a philosopher named Empédocle who discovered in the 7th, 6th century BC that there was infinity hidden within all things and all beings, and so. We continue to connect to that part of us that is beyond, above and beyond all change, and and when all things are in balance, there is this rebirth, this rebirth. For now, we need to evacuate all fear, to discharge all fear. For fear can prevent us, help us to assist us in case of danger. So it's not a matter of certain fears that needs to be paid attention. But 99% of them are not really valuable. They're just tools. They use that as tools of creation into the future for those who control the narrative. So do not let the fears of others to control your destiny. Put your hands in the hands of love and God, and. For fear will make us grow old and die, when laughter and joy will make us live a lot longer and happier. So it is important to be aware, to control the focal point, the quantum field. Right now we need to learn to control the quantum field long enough in the focalization of our dreams and desire to make them manifest. The highest wisdom is to let go of the misery, is the limitation, it is the wall, it is the lack. And so we need to get rid of that. What we need to do is to understand is the transformation, the power of natural healing and transformation. What we need to do is to turn within, to turn to the ocean of peace within, regardless of the shadows on the outside, and the outcome will be the intensity of love and light. As we overcome the misery, we find completion, a new cycle, a brand new beginning, a new life that is opening before us. And in relationship to love, we're going to need to continue to learn to project our thoughts in a way that is creative and constructive, and not to project, to push worries and into the future, to learn more, to be in control of that focal point. For there is, when everything is in balance, health is restored. Every illness comes from an imbalance, and for everything that happens within our life is the will of our own soul. It does not come from Father, Mother, God. It does not come from the One. It does not come from the Paradise Trinity. It is our own soul that chose to participate in this in a series of incarnation, and so it is like some people blame God for the experience of suffering, but it's like when we go there, we create, and then we have to become aware of our creation, and then slowly we bring it back into balance, all the way back to the point of fusion within light and the paradise status of being, and the nirvana of being. Yet God is the creator, the source. I'm just sharing what I know. After that, everybody will choose whatever will resonate with you, but God is only love, and God, as the first cause of love, cannot create suffering, but He allows the individual will to express themselves in any way they want, and therefore in a magnetic universe, when you create dark causes, you will have to suffer dark consequences. But God is accepting to go through that whole process with us without imposing His will. And so it is it's infinitely courageous to be able to live with all beings. There are beings I couldn't spend, it's beyond our ability, but for God created all out of love, for discovering, so that eventually everybody returned to love. For we have to accept our choices, and God accepts the choices of each individual soul and the consequences of these choices. So it's like, but in order to eliminate suffering, we need to look at the cause of suffering. Until we eliminate the cause of suffering, there will be effects of suffering. So it is about finding solutions for relief from suffering. Will come from interpersonal work, working within ourselves with the inner guidance, and learning to turn towards the source force and to forgive and to turn within the light, and to understand the lessons in each situation. For to accept that life is infinitely perfect is very difficult, for everybody lives within a bubble, within his own bubble of consciousness. And I can see sometimes my clairvoyance, my third eye. I remember I was taking this bus. I remember where I was. Here in Normandy, I think, and I was seeing like people living in their bubble with all their shadows around them. So it's like, and those veils will have to fall for the bubble to connect to universal consciousness. But we eventually we're going to soon have access to that higher planes, and so it is. So once we understand the lesson within each circumstance that can be challenging for us, then we can act and know what to do in order to move forward. So it's about continuing to cultivate courage, patience, and perseverance. And so I'm going to pull a few cards with the tarot, the angel tarot. The highest wisdom is reparation. We need to repair. There is so many things in my own life. There's so many things. Everything is in shambles. I need to repair. I have the trust and faith that at some point the Spirit says it's going to be easy, but for now it's difficult. For what needs to be understood is acceptation. To accept who we are, where we are, and all that we are, and to know that there is to continue to focalize on the point of freedom that will bring the energies into balance. And what we need to do is justice. It's balance. It's equilibrium. And the outcome will be serenity. We're going to be able to find this point of serenity where we feel there is no more need to do anything at all. For there's going to be, I'm going to talk about the physical world a little bit. Is to say that from a physical standpoint, materialistic scientists are based, there was many theories that based contemporary knowledge of science, which is the Big Bang. To me, it's a Belgian joke because they don't know of cosmic breathing. We had for 2 billion years, there's an expansion in the universe. That's what we are now onto. But then for 2 billion years, there's a contraction, and the universe has trillions of years old. This is young, but it's very much older. And so I'm not really sure there's going to be at some point an ability to prove that. And then the other series is the origin of species of Charles Darwin, who evolved humanity. But it's about finding a reality that is without God. For what they don't realize is evolution is the mean by which God has chosen the process of evolution. God is the law of evolution. And so because at the time there was those who believed that God created the world in 7 days, and then those who believed in the Darwin theory. But when scientific will look at the cells, they will see that the organism is far beyond the complexity of the cells is utterly beyond the human consciousness, and later on they will discover the atoms. Well, they already know that the atoms exist, but I'm saying that they will have better understanding of it because there's so many misunderstandings. But because they're all divine constructions of. I've seen them. I've been sent to this infinitely minuscule world, and I've seen those. I've only seen 3 of them, but I've been shown, but I can visualize. I can go to this dimension now, and when you look at the periodic element table, you'll find we're going to discover there's going to be many adjustments and many. For now, they're looking for like the element 115, the moscovium. I think it's because it's a radioactive element that can open portals into negative dimension and so on and so. But very soon we're gonna be able to draw wisdom from that. From the world of chemistry, and outside of chemistry there are thousands of proofs of the existence of God, and that's what we need to come into. We cannot prove the existence of God per se from a scientific standpoint, but we can prove the existence of eternal life and also dimension of intelligence beings, and that's really what the next step will be. Maybe I will participate in that, and the faith and the facts, because we need to reunify. There is linear physics, quantum physics, and cosmic physics. Those do not work under the same rule. And Einstein was trying to find the equation that would unify the series of the whole. But I don't think mathematics may not be the best approach to that. First, it's more an empirical demonstration that could lead to a discovery, then after that could be understood mathematically. Well, that's my take on it, but we're not quite there yet, so we'll see in due time. So I'm asked not to talk too much about science. And so the highest wisdom for the day is chopping woods, getting ready, and clearing up the space, getting ready. What we need to understand is imagination, continue to cultivate our imagination. What we need to do is rest. For tomorrow, I may do the Sabbath. We'll talk about that a little bit. And the outcome is chaos and conflicts. It's like there's a lot of things are going to blow apart. And so it's like do not get involved emotionally in the deconstruction of the matrix. I was watching a documentary that was quite interesting about the Sabbath. That on Saturday, when all the popes, it was because at some point for the Sabbath is the fourth commandment, as God created the world in 6 days. The seventh day there is the rest, and this grandiose we're doing this work, and then on the seventh day we're sharing this day with God as the contemplation of our work, and something that is like a temporal heaven. This seventh day of creation, which is Saturday, for the first day, and then the Pope in Constantine they were very much into when they created the Vatican, the Catholic Roman Catholic Church, there was a lot of worship, even the Caesars and the whole worship the sun, and so they moved this day to the worship of the first day of creation, the day of the sun. For the first day is Sunday, the day of the sun, and the second day is the day of the moon, Monday. Tuesday is the day of Mars, Wednesday is the day of Mercury, Thursday is the day of Jupiter, Friday is the day of Venus, Saturday is the day of Saturn. And so it's like the completion of the cycle. So it is. There's been all the battles, the Inquisition, the Protestant. All was about that. All was about this, because the Vatican did want everybody to work on the Sabbath and rest the next day, but on Sabbath they didn't want that, and there's been thousands of people have been burned to the stake because of that, because they wanted to respect the Bible and the fourth commandment of Moses. Even the Christ never asked to change the Sabbath. He was the master of the Sabbath. He just updated it in the sense that he was doing healing during the Sabbath. That's also why he was crucified, because people didn't like him to do his healing during the Sabbath in the synagogue, and so this was the major reason. He was contradicting the powers. But he was trying to say, well, you can liberate that woman from suffering so that she can appreciate the Sabbath for the first time. And so for the Sabbath is really the celebration of the creation and the atonement and the salvation, the peace. So it is very important. It's kind of nice, the idea. And so. For the linear time consciousness is an invention, but it's like with night and days. It's easy to understand. A year is like the year, but the seventh day is really a gift from God, because it's like even the Sumerian used it, the Egyptians used the 7-day model, the Roman, the Greeks, the Jews, everybody used that 7-day model because it was to organize our time. The gods had decided, well, we're gonna give them a bit of direction, and 7 is the most spiritual number. It is the 7 aspect of represents the 7 perception of deity, the possible association of the trine deity. So I don't know what I'm going to do tomorrow. So I'm going to finish with a song. Thank you very much for liking, sharing, commenting, and subscribing. I thank you for your donations. If you want a private session, you can send me an email. It's like I do say, to speak about briefly, it's like right now there's a correction in the crypto markets, and it may go down and down and down and down. For me, cryptos is for fools or billionaires. It's like, although it's blockchains will have a use in the future, but for now, and I think what's coming up next is a correction on the financial market, the speculate, even the stock market in general, and the general stock market, and that was going to create a readjustment for the cost of living, and that's the only way. And then also the real estate and the arts, everything is overvalued right now. So the spiritual, of course the dark controllers wants to create their own reset in terms, but the one reset that will be coming is a divine reset, when all the assets will be reevaluated and all the shadow accounts will be closed, everything will be exposed. That will be coming. Another thing that is, if somebody asks me about those vaccines, I say, well, I'm still reading the notice, because when you take a medication, you have to read the notice, and this notice has 800,000 pages. So I can say, well, I've read the first 10,000 pages for now, the notice of all the bad negative effect that this product can do. Now I still have to read 790,000 pages before I can even make an educated choice. So it is a lot of things is going to come up about all that. for in France, the TV is even more muzzled than in America. In America, there is certain TV, some media that are counterpowers. For the counterpowers, originally the Congress, the Senate, the medias are supposed to be counterpowers, not propaganda to fuel the massive illusions that are because it's not even the states. It's those dark powers that have infiltrated all this thing, and sorry, they're being exposed. So there is really no one can prevent the truth from coming up. Just enjoy your life, focus on what is you know to be good for you. And so I'm going to finish with a song and pull one more card. I wanted to wish you a wonderful day. I'm not sure what maybe tomorrow I'm going to rest, and we're getting ready for a lot of important transformation. I wanted to find a song that was festive, so I pulled one. It's just pretty festive. It's a song, it's an old song from the 60s. It's called With a Shade of Pale. It goes like this. We skip the light fandango, turn cartwheels, cross the floor. I was feeling kind of seasick, but the crowd called out for more. The room was humming harder as the ceiling flew away. When we called out for another drink, and the waiter brought his tray. And so it was that later, as the miller told his tale, that her face at first just ghostly turned a wider shade of pale. She said there is no reason, and the truth is plain to see. But I wandered through my playing card, and I would not let her be one of 16 versatile virgins who were leaving for the coast. And although my eyes were open, they might just as well been closed. And so it was that later, as the miller told his tale, that her face at first just ghostly turned a wider shade of pale. Turned a wider shade of pale. So we have to really open the cage so the birds can run free. And the card of the day is the Chariot. It is the card of success, the card of victory. It is the motion forward. All the doors of the worlds are going to be opening. It is the Archangel Metatron, the beloved Metatron. We thank him for overseeing our past and communicating. Sometimes I've seen Metatron doing amazing things around me in my life, in my relation to energy and other people. And I really have no clue of what he did, but I saw the result of it. It was quite nice. And I welcome him to continue to work with me. And here's the Chariot: determination and self-control, evolution of career, public recognition of a success. So we're going to be entering into the stage of life. A new phase, a new reality is before us. I thank you very much. Wish you a wonderful day, and I'll talk to you later. Adonai.